a favorite Pokemon region, and as a Sinnoh stan, I could not be more excited for the announcements coming on Pokemon Day. Obviously, it's not set in stone that a Sinnoh announcement is going to be made, but I do think it's fair to get my hopes up a little bit. The only other game that I could even imagine them announcing would be Let's Go Johto, since I think Generation 9 is still a ways away. Unless they announce something completely out of left field, I'm pretty sure we're getting some sort of Sinnoh remake. With all that being said, you now know that Sinnoh is a very important part of my life, and I thought I'd share with you guys today my do's and don'ts for possible Sinnoh remakes. Obviously, if some of my don'ts make it into the final game, it wouldn't ruin the experience for me, and I would never fault Game Freak for not fine-tuning the game to my expectations. I just think that this would be a fun way to share what I would love to see in a remake if I had any say in the matter. I'm going to start off with my don'ts, because some of them kind of come back in my do's, and it's also shorter. What I don't want to see is much shorter than what I do want to see in a Sinnoh remake. First things first, I don't really want to see Let's Go Sinnoh. I love the Let's Go games. I won't be disappointed if we get Let's Go Sinnoh, as I would like to see those in the future. I just think that the Sinnoh region does deserve a true remake. I am trying to work. Ma'am, stop! Stop it, Mifa! Stop! You ignore the closet all day. Stop. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were not true remakes of Yellow. The story was a little bit different, the rival was a completely different character, and the starters changed. Now, I mean, the starters didn't change completely because Pikachu was still an option, but you know, Eevee was thrown in there and you didn't get to pick from the original Kanto trio. I would like to be able to use one of the 3 Sinnoh starters instead of picking one of 2 random Pokemon that they choose for Let's Go Sinnoh. Another thing I don't want to see happen to the Sinnoh region is it being made easier. I don't really agree with people when they say that Pokemon's been made easier throughout the years. I think it's been more spotty. However, I do know that some of the more recent Pokemon games are easier than some of the older ones, and I don't want to see that happen to the Sinnoh region. The Sinnoh region is known for having some of the hardest battles, and I want it to stay that way. Okay, so the last thing I don't want to see in a Sinnoh remake is Dynamaxing, or Dynamax raids. I know that they probably will be, but this is just a list of things I don't particularly want to see, and that is one of them. I don't like the way that any of the Pokemon look when they're Dynamaxed, and I don't like the way half of them look when they're Gigantamaxed. I think that the weird red hue takes away from a lot of the shinies, and I don't like the battles in general against the Dynamax Pokemon in raids. The only time I ever really enjoyed doing the Dynamax raids was during Dynamax Adventures, and that's because they took the shields away. Other than that, I'm really not a fan of Dynamaxing, and I really don't care if they ever bring it back. Okay, so here's the fun part. This is the stuff that I would absolutely love to see in a Sinnoh remake. Okay, so let's just say that this is a Let's Go game. They need to add day and night cycles. I will be so upset if we miss out on Sinnoh's nighttime music, as I think it's some of the best from the franchise. It just wouldn't feel like Sinnoh if I couldn't listen to the Jubilife City nighttime music. Like, I don't know, that is one of my favorite songs in the entire franchise, and I was just like blown away by it as a kid. I would just stand around in Jubilife City all night jamming. So if they take that away from me, I will not be happy. Okay, so hear me out. I know I just said I don't want Dynamaxing, but I do want Megas. I love Mega Evolutions. I thought they were so fun. I loved using them. I loved the fun designs. And honestly, I don't think it's like super far-fetched for them to throw them into a Sinnoh remake. In Generation 7, we did not see the return of Mega Evolutions in the Alola region. Instead, we got Z moves. However, in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, another Generation 7 game, we got our Mega Evolutions back and no Z moves were to be seen. Therefore, it's not a crazy idea that Pokemon would exclude the current gimmick for a gimmick from the past. Again, this is not something that I am expecting them to do at all, it's just something that I would personally like to see. Plus, Empoleon is my favorite Pokemon of all time, and I've always wanted to see what they would do with a Mega design for it. Either way, whether it's going to be Gigantamaxed or Mega, I can't wait to see what they come up with for Empoleon. I really hope that they bring back the Pokétch. I feel like it, along with the Underground, are kind of like staples of the Sinnoh region, and without it, it just really won't feel like the Sinnoh region. I mean, it will, but it'll definitely feel very off. I feel like the best way to add the Pokétch to a Sinnoh remake on the Switch would be to incorporate it as almost like a little mini map in the corner of the screen. And if you want to change the face while you're just walking around without really like pulling up the full window, you can hit the minus button on the Switch. And then if you want to like pull it up and interact with it, you can hit the plus button, and that would be a very easy way for you to be able to like mess around with it either in handheld or on the TV. And then maybe in handheld it could have like a touchscreen option like it did on the DS. I just think that it would be a pretty easy thing for them to like add and not take out of the Sinnoh region, since it was such a big deal in the Sinnoh region. As I said previously, the underground was a huge part of the Sinnoh region, and I really hope that that makes a comeback as well. I remember I would play in the underground with my friends for hours, like playing Capture the Flag, and then if I wasn't with my friends, I'd spend a bunch of time like mining for different items that I could sell, or fossil Pokemon. Like, that was so cool and so unique to the Sinnoh region, and if they don't bring that back, I'm gonna be really upset. It was such a cool thing that they had. I just feel like it wouldn't be Sinnoh without the underground, without the Pokétch, so I just really hope that they don't exclude those two. Okay, another thing that might seem obvious that they're going to include, but I don't really think it's obvious, is character customization. We had it in Pokemon X and Y, and it was so much fun, and then Oros came out, and there was absolutely no character customization, and it was such a downer. And then the same thing happened with the Alola region, and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. We had like a ton of customization in the Alola region, and then in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, there was like 4 different color schemes you could pick for your character that were not interchangeable at all. So like if you had dark skin and light eyes, you couldn't pick it, but if you had like light skin and dark eyes, and you know, you couldn't pick a character that like genuinely looked like yourself. And then there was like 4 different clothing options. It just like wasn't good, and I really hope that in a Sinnoh remake we have like a million different winter outfits, and it's just like really cool. I just really hope that we're able to have character customization as like good as it gets in the Sinnoh region. Another like aesthetic thing that I really hope that they keep from the Sinnoh region is like how snowy it was and wintry it was. I hope they go for a more like platinum vibe than Diamond and Pearl, and they keep it like more of like a winter theme for the Sinnoh remake. Okay, so another thing I don't want to see them take away are events that we missed out on. So like Arceus, the Arceus event was never included in like the North American release because they thought we were too stupid to like do it. So I hope they give us the chance. I hope they realize that we're not too dumb to like go to a certain spot and use a certain item to get a specific Pokemon, and that I don't have to like just put in a code and get my, you know, god of all Pokemon. I really hope that they believe in us this time and let us do the events. Like, Arceus is like the god of all Pokemon, so I really hope that they give it like a proper introduction this time instead of like just a code. And to add to that point, I really hope that like Shaman, Cresselia, Darkrai, and Riolu are all like their little events are also still in the game. Like, I know Riolu's is like built into the story, and I think Cresselia's is too. I can't really remember, but I really hope that those all stay and we don't have to like hack to go get Darkrai and Shaman again, because like they're all good. Like, they're all really cool Pokemon. People love those Pokemon, and I just really hope that they still include them. And like, back to the Riolu one, that was like such a fun little side story to do, and that's like part of why I love Sinnoh. There's just a lot of like characters that they threw in there with little side stories, and it just like made the Sinnoh region feel more alive, and I would love to see them do that again, maybe even add more of that, I don't know, but I would just love to see that all make a return. Everyone knows that Sinnoh has a pretty solid post-game between like the Battle Frontier and the contest and everything else you can do, but I really hope that they add more like story-driven post-game to it. Since the Sinnoh region is already full of like mystery and lore, it would be just like really cool for them to add even more. Like, even if it's just like a little Giratina story, or Arceus, I don't know how you guys say it. I say Arceus, sorry UK, I don't know. Or like Darkrai and Shaman added to the end of it. I don't know. I just want them to add more, because there's like 3 Pokemon that are just locked off to the game if you don't have the event or if you don't have an action replay. So like, come on, Game Freak, please. Please. I know I kind of already like said that before, but you know, it doesn't have to be in the middle of the story. Make it post-game. I don't care. Give me something to do, please. Poffin making was also like a really fun part of the Sinnoh region, and we already had curry making, which honestly kind of felt the same as Poffin making, so I don't think it would be too difficult for them to like implement it again, since it was just like stirring and flipping and adding ingredients. So I'm pretty sure that that'll make a comeback, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna be really disappointed. Okay, so the final topic I'm gonna talk about today is shiny hunting. I never did radar chaining as a kid. I didn't know it existed. I did not have the internet until high school because my mom just never bought a computer. I didn't know what I was missing, but I didn't know shinies even existed. I never got one. It didn't really matter to me. But I would love to try radar chaining in the new games, and I'm planning on going back and trying it again in Gen 4 on stream because, as you guys know, I'm a shiny hunter, and I just want to try every different way to manipulate the game to get me a shiny sooner. So I will be trying that soon, and I would just love to see it happen again since I know a lot of people say that that's their favorite way to shiny hunt. Regardless of whatever Game Freak decides to actually do in these remakes, I'm extremely excited to revisit my favorite region again. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. Please make sure to comment down below what you would like to see in a Sinnoh remake, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!